Good morning, everyone. My name is Frederick Villas, and I will discuss our topic. And for that, at the end of the lesson, the student will understand at least 3 instructional design theories and how they help in teaching. Next is appreciate the value of using instructional design through class participation. And last is apply one instructional design model by making a simple lesson plan. Yan yung mga learning objectives. What do you think about instructional design? So, instructional design, it is the process of planning, designing, developing, and delivering a learning experience. So, kapag sinabing instructional design, is dito papasok ang planning, designing, and kung paano ito may di-deliver ng maayos. Kaya kapag gagawa ng isang plano, it takes time talaga. Yung mga preparation na dapat gawin para mabuo mo ang isang bagay. Katulad na lamang as a future teacher, need ko gumawa ng mga instructional materials na tugma sa aralin na aking gagawin at makakapagbigay ng learning sa mga student. Kaya I need to make something fun and engaging activities so that my learners give an attention sa aking aralin at magkaroon sila ng mabilisang pagkatuto. Kasi kung boring yung class or paulit-ulit lang ginagawa yung strategies ng isang teacher, is mawawala yung attention ng mga bata sa kanya. Kaya it's very important to have instructional design na pinag-iisipan at pinaplano ng maayos with the use of different strategies and methods. And meron 3 purpose ang instructional design. Una is to help the teacher organize and lesson effectively. Yan, totoo naman. When the teacher's plan, may implement niya yung topic ng maayos at epektibo. Next is ensure learning meet objectives. Ayan, tama. Kasi kung may planning, makaka-create tayo ng iba't ibang design na connected sa layunin nating gagawing pag-aaral. And also, is to adapt to students' needs and learning styles. So, meron tayong common instructional design theories. Una is ang behaviorism, focus on observable changes and behavior. Pangalawa is cognitivism, focus on mental process like thinking and memory. Constructivism, learners build their own understanding through experience. Next, behaviorism. So, behaviorism is learning happens through reinforcements, rewards, or punishments. Teachers give clear objectives and provide practice with feedback. Example nito is drill, exercise, and quizzes. So, pag sinabing behaviorism, from the word itself, it focus on the behavior of the student. Sa pagsasagawa ng mga tasks and activities or inside the classroom, kumbaga dito nagkakaroon ng changes sa behavior ang student. Bisa kung paano ang approach ng isang teachers. For example, di ba may mas nagkakaroon ng motivation ng ang isang estudyante kung pinipraise sila ng teacher nila or binibigyan ng reward kapag sumasagot sa mga recitation. mas nagpa-participate sila at sumasagot sa klase is because of environment consequence. So, ang observable behavioral changes doon is natututunan nilang tumaas ng kamay sa klase kasi motivated na sila dahil sa reinforcement ng isang teacher. And next is the cognitivism. Focus on how student process and organize reinforcement. Teachers use concept maps, outlines, and step-by-step instructions. Encourage understanding, not just memorization. So, sa cognitivism naman, it's all about the mental process. It's not just about memorization, but to understand and apply them in life. For example, pinag-aral ang mga estudyante ng mga teachers tungkol sa vocabulary words. So halip na i-memorize lang nila or sa uluhin ang mga definition ng mga vocabulary words na yun, dapat ina-apply din nila kung paano sila gamitin. Dapat ginagamit nila sa paggawa ng sentence. So doon pa lang nabibuild ng mga estudyante yung higher order ng thinking skills nila. Next ay constructivism. So, constructivism, learning is active and student-centered. Students learn by doing, solving problems, and reflecting. Teachers act as a facilitator. So, sa constructivism naman, dito na pumapasok ang own learning ng estudyante na kung saan dito is yung estudyante ang nasa sentro ng learning process. Kumbaga, sa aspect na ito, mas naipapakita ng estudyante yung kanilang mga skills, knowledge, and potentials. Kasi 'di ba may thought na learning by doing is developed by John Dewey, na kung saan mas natututo ang isang estudyante kung sila mismo ang gumagawa ng tasks and activities. For example, kung may activities like experimentation, dapat hinahayaan ng teacher na ang estudyante ang mag-manipulate ng mga objects. So doon pa lang nade-develop na ng mga estudyante ang kanilang psychomotor skills. Kumbaga, as a teacher, dapat nagsaserve lang sila as facilitator of the learning task or guide. Hayaang estudyante ang gumawa. Okay, next is
ADDIE model. This is a widely used linear model for instructional design. First is analyze. This initial phase involves identifying the target audience, their learning needs, and the context of the instruction. What are the learner's prior knowledge, their skills and attitudes. And next is the design. This phase focus on creating blueprint for instruction. This includes selecting appropriate instructional strategies, media, and assessment methods. Third is development. This is the creation phase where the actual instruction materials are produced. This might involve like writing script, creating a presentation, and developing online modules or produce videos. Implementation. This is the delivery phase where the instructional materials are used with the learners. The instructor facilitates the learning process. And last is evaluate. This final phase assess the effectiveness of the instruction. This might involve testing the learner's knowledge, like gathering feedback and analyze the result to improve future instruction. And Gagney's 9 events of instruction. This model focuses on the learner's cognitive process during instruction. It proposes 9 events that should occur for effective learning. First is gaining attention, capturing the learner's interest at the start of the lesson. And the second is informing learners of objectives, clearly stating what learners will be able to do after completing the instruction. Third is stimulating recall of prior knowledge, connecting new information to what learners already know. Four is present the stimulus, presenting the new information in a clear and organized manner. 5. Providing learner guidance, helping learners understand and process the new information. This might involve providing examples like analogies or explanation. The 6th is eliciting performance, giving learners opportunities to practice using the new information. 7 is providing feedback, giving the learners information about their performance. And second to the last is assessing performance, formally evaluating learners' understanding and skills. The last one is enhancing retention and transfer, helping learners retain the new information and apply it to the new situation. So why instructional design matters? First, it supports diverse learners. Effective instructional design consider the various learning styles, abilities, and the needs of a diverse student population. It can ensure that all learners, regardless of their background or learning preferences, have an equal opportunities to succeed. And the second, encourage deeper understanding. Instructional design promotes active learning and knowledge construction, going beyond simple memorization. Strategies used might include problem solving, activities, real-world application, and opportunities for critical thinking. And the last one is it saves time and increases teaching effectiveness. A well-structured, thoughtfully designed lesson plan makes the learning process more efficient, and it streamlines the learning process and maximize the impact of teaching efforts, result in better learning outcome with less wasted time. In summary, so how instructional design theories guide for teaching. Instructional design theories provide framework and principles for educators to structure their teaching methods. They offer a systematic approach to planning, implementing, evaluating, and lesson, ensuring they are effective and aligned with learning objectives. These theories aren't just about what to teach, but how to teach it most effectively for different learning styles and contexts. Using the right theory and models improve learning. Choosing the right theoretical framework and model. Different learning theories like constructivism, behaviorism, cognitism propose different approaches to learning and teaching. Selecting a theory and a model aligned with the learning objective, and the students' need crucial for maximizing learning outcomes. A mismatch can lead to ineffective teaching and poor student results. So how it help teachers be more organized, flexible, and learning focused? It helps the teachers can better plan their lessons, manage their classroom effectively, and tailor their instruction to meet the individual's need of their students.